Hello. Today I'll be taking you through geography. We'll be going through the introduction to geography and then the solar system, the Earth and its shape, and then the evidence that the Earth is spherical in shape, rocks, mountains, and river processes and landforms. So first and foremost, I would like to tell you a little bit about geography. Geography is a Greek word. It's a combination of two Greek words, which is geo and graph. Geo means earth, and graph means study. But if we bring it together, geography is not just a matter of studying the earth. It is much more than that. Geography is all-encompassing. So let me bring you to the first definition of geography, which is defined as the study of people, the activities, places, and physical things within the earth. Within the earth. So, when we talk about people, we have different people in different parts of the world, in different countries of the world. We have blacks, we have, like we are black. We have Caucasians. We have Aboriginals. And we have different types of people of different tribes, people of different uh, culture. Then when we talk about the activities, we're talking about mining, we're talking about agriculture, we're talking about construction, we're talking about manufacturing, everything that has to do with man's activities on earth, manufacturing. Then when we're talking about places, we're looking at regions, continents. Continents, we have 7 continents in the world. We have Africa, we have Asia, we have Europe, we have North America, we have South America, and we have Oceania/Australia, and then the Antarctica. We have countries. We have cities. So this all has to do with places. Then we're talking about the physical things. The physical things are these things we can see, the landforms, the oceans, landforms, rocks, seas. And just imagine it. This is what has to do with everything physical about the earth. The just all encompassing when we talk about the landforms, and then the oceans and the rivers and everything within the earth. So, another definition for geography is described as a social science that deals with the study of man and his activities in his environment. So, geography has to do with man at the center. It has to do with his activities. And then, sometimes we hear geography and people just think, oh, geography. Geography is a study of landforms, rocks. So geography is not just a study of rocks. It's not just a study of the landforms and the mountains and the volcanoes. It entails the study of man. It entails the study of his activities. It entails the study of places. It entails the study of landforms and features within the earth. I think a while back, somebody was asking a question. When we're talking about places, what do you call someone from Denmark? And the answer was very funny. And then they said, what do you call someone from Netherlands? I think the person said Netherlandian also. So geography has to do with you not just knowing about places, but to know their way of life, their culture. It is good to actually know the capitals of countries. It is good to know the number of countries we have. It is good to know the number of continents, to know the countries in each continent, to know where they are, to know a lot of things about them, to know their currency, to know the details. And you can only get this by researching, by Googling them, by checking your atlas, by doing more reading and everything like that. Because you never know which one might be useful for you in an exam, especially the objective section. Talking about the solar system consists of the sun, and other planets that are known, 9 other planets that are known, and a couple of other planets that are not known as at date. I'm sure a lot of research is still going on, a lot of exploration is still going on in space, and in the nearest future, in consequent years, we'll probably be discovering other planets. So as at today, we have the sun at the center of the solar system, and then we have 9 other planets, which are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. I'm sure most of us are familiar with them from previous maybe primary school or junior secondary school. So I wouldn't be going too much into this, but there are some things we need to know about each of these, their characteristics or their attributes. And then we need to have this in mind because they might come up too in our exams, one way or the other. So the Mercury is the nearest planet to the sun. It is the smallest planet, and it does not have any life form on it because of the fact that it has so much high degree of temperature from the sun. So the sun's temperature is just hammering it at a serious rate. So it is not possible for any life form to exist on Mercury. It is the smallest, it is the closest, and it is the hottest, despite the fact that it is about 54.6 million kilometers from the sun. So despite this, it is still the hottest. So that brings us to Venus. Before I go on about Venus, it is said that Venus is the Earth's twin. That's because of the similarities it has with the Earth in terms of the size, mass, and density. So if we are ever asked that which planet in the solar system is the Earth's twin, we should just know that it is Venus. Venus is the second closest to the sun, and then maybe there could be life forms there, but as at today, there are no life forms on Venus. Then the Earth. The Earth is where we reside, and the Earth has the ability to have living organisms on it. This is why we're on it. We have human beings, we have plants, we have animals, and various other living organisms. Then we have the Mars. The fourth farthest from the sun, we have Jupiter. Jupiter is actually the largest planet in the solar system. We have the Saturn. Jupiter, before we go to Saturn, Jupiter has 9 satellites. And then coming to Saturn, Saturn is the second largest planet in the solar system. It has 3 rings around it. If we look at the projection here, we have the solar system displayed. And if you can't, this is Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Then this is Jupiter, and this is Saturn, with the 3 rings on it. And it is the second largest planet in the solar system. Then that brings us to Uranus, Neptune. There's nothing so unique about these two, but there's something we should note about Pluto. Pluto is the farthest from the sun, and it is the coldest because the distance between it and the sun is so large that it hardly has any form of sunlight or energy from the sun. Then, coming back to the Earth, because we are studying the Earth in geography. We are studying the Earth because it is in the solar system. That's why we are covering the solar system. Now, we live on the Earth, and then we are studying the Earth, man's activities, and everything about it. So, looking at the Earth, the Earth is obviously the third planet from the sun, and it takes the Earth about 364 1/4 days to complete a revolution around the sun on its orbit. That is one complete year. So the Earth has 2 forms of movement. It revolves around the sun. A revolution is completed in 364 1/4 days. And while it is revolving, the sun is at the middle, and the Earth is revolving around it. Then it is also rotating. The Earth rotates from the west to east in an anti-clockwise direction. So it is carrying out 2 forms of movement at the same time. The Earth is the only planet that has the ability to have life forms on it, that life forms exist on it. And then the Earth has 1 satellite. The one satellite that the Earth has is the moon. And the Earth is 2,762 kilometers in diameter, and the shape of the Earth is a geoid, which is a sphere. In the early days, it was believed that the Earth was flat. And then the early men used to be afraid to travel so far because they believed that if they went too far, they would get to a point where they will just drop off the face of the Earth. But in recent years, with technology and advancement, a lot of research has gone on to prove the fact that the Earth is spherical in shape. So it brings us to the next topic, where we talk about the evidence, the shape of the Earth, and the evidence that the Earth is spherical in shape. Like I said, the shape of the Earth is a sphere. A sphere is not a circle. It is, a good example of a sphere is a football, a pumped football. That is a good sphere because it's a solid, it has volume. Now, back in the years, like I said, they were afraid to travel too far because they were of the opinion that the Earth is flat. So this brought the scientists and geographers to come up with a lot of evidences to prove that the Earth is spherical in shape. So one of such evidences is what we call the Earth's horizon. The Earth's horizon. And what does this imply? Looking at the Earth's horizon, the horizon is that line that we see that is an imaginary line though, that seems to be the touching point between the Earth and the heaven, between the land and the cloud or the heavens. When we look at the horizon, if we go out now and look at it, you're going to discover that you're going to see something like this. It seems like as if the cloud is touching the ground. And by the time you move forward and you travel to that point, you discover that there's still another horizon. So no matter how far you look at it, you always see a curved shape. And this alone proves that the Earth is a sphere, and you are just seeing a part of the sphere at a particular point or at that particular place you're looking at it. And then the second is the rise . So, the rising and falling of the sun allows different places to experience light, or sunshine, or sunlight at different times, while the other places are experiencing darkness. As we are now, I think right now, it is afternoon. And in another part of the world, they're experiencing darkness. So, right now, the sun is shining in our particular location, whereas in other places, they're experiencing darkness. If the Earth was flat, this is what we would have. This is the sun, and it's going to be shining its light, and it's going to come up to the Earth if it were flat. And everywhere we experience light at the same time. But because the Earth is spherical in shape, we have this. This is the sun, and we have the sunlight coming. So it is only possible for a particular portion of the Earth to experience sunrise. This is sunrise and sunset. It's better for us to call it sunrise and sunset. So, sunrise and sunset. So as the Earth rotates from west to east in an anticlockwise direction, the eastern part of the Earth experiences sunlight first, then the western part of the Earth. So this proves that the Earth is spherical in shape. The fact that every one of us living on the Earth is not experiencing sunlight at the same time is enough proof that the Earth is spherical in shape. So the third evidence is ship's visibility. Ship's visibility. In this case, we should notice that when a ship is coming from afar, we don't tend to see the whole ship at once. It doesn't just appear, boom, to us. It's a steady process. It's like this. Like in the diagram here, the first thing that you probably see is the mast. Or even before the mast, you probably see the smoke of the engine. Then, as the smoke is coming up, then you see a protrusion of the mast. Then the mast gets bigger, it gets longer, and it gets bigger and longer. And as the ship moves nearer, we see the mouth of the ship. And then later on, we see the whole ship. If the Earth was flat, what we would see is this. We just see the ship at once. And this is you looking at it. You see the ship immediately, full, all, at once. But because the Earth is spherical in shape, we see it in a slow process. First, the smoke, then the mast, then the nose of the ship, then the full body of the ship. Then the third evidence, which proves to us that the Earth is spherical in shape, is circumnavigation of the Earth. Circumnavigation of the Earth. Magellan Ferdinand took a trip some years back and started at a particular point. And he traveled. And the funny thing was, he did not get to the end of the Earth. What happened was, he traveled from a particular point and went and went and went and ended up in the same spot where he started from. So this is enough evidence for us that the Earth is spherical in shape, because if the Earth was flat, it would probably just keep traveling and never end the trip, or it's just going to drop off from the Earth's end. So for this reason, it traveled for about 3 years to 4 years, and at the end of that time period, he ended up in the same spot where he started from. So this is enough evidence for us that the Earth is spherical in shape. And the next evidence that the Earth is spherical in shape is aerial photography. Pictures of the Earth that has been taken over and over by satellites and explorers has always shown us the shape of the Earth to be a sphere, even though they might not, the picture might not show both sides of the Earth, but the size that has been shown has always been that of a geoid. So that's another evidence for us that the Earth is spherical in shape. And then lastly, before we leave this topic, another evidence which proves to us that the Earth is spherical in shape is the shape of other planetary bodies. The shape of other planetary bodies. And what do we mean by this? When we look at other planetary bodies in the solar system, that's the Mars, the Jupiter, the Saturn, the Uranus, the Neptune, the Pluto, they are all spheres. And when they are all spheres, why would the Earth be different? So if all the other planets are spherical in shape, then the Earth too, which is also part of the solar system, should also be spherical in shape. And based on these evidences, and some others, if we go to read up on them, you will discover that it is proven, it is acknowledged, and it is known today that the Earth is spherical in shape. So that will be the end of this topic, and then we'll be going to rocks.